Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to K-Drama School. I'm your host, Grace Jung. Good to be here. Good to have you all here. Hello. How was your week, huh? Are you looking forward to Valentine's Day this weekend? Do you guys have a Valentine? Do people still celebrate Valentine's Day? I haven't celebrated Valentine's Day in so fucking long. I'm just like, what is this day even for? It's just to like stuff your face full of chocolate that you buy for yourself and cry? Like I once bought a bag of chocolates and I ate the whole thing in like a matter of 3 hours, and then I shit my brains out later that night. Okay, that was maybe TMI, but that's also the truth. And it was not Valentine's Day candy, it was Halloween candy. I did get a Valentine's Day gift today. It was at work, and a coworker handed out these little Valentine's Day goodie bags. I thought that was really sweet of her. And I was like, I wonder why she's doing that. That's my trust issue, suspicious me. Maybe she's just doing it to be generous. They say that generosity makes a person feel good. I guess I had a dose of that in December when I was handing out Christmas presents. But yeah, I guess generosity does feel good sometimes. But yeah, I was still confused by it. I'm like, I barely know this person. Like, we very rarely ever spoke, and she's giving me a Valentine's Day gift. Like, that's weird. And she gave it to everybody. So that made me wonder, like, why is she giving it to everybody? Like, does she want people to think, like, we all like her? I mean, why? Again, it was just something nice that she did, and I just can't stop thinking about it. I'm obsessed with it. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can see in the mise en scène that I have my book poster up here, K-Drama School, a pop culture inquiry into why we love Korean television. And this is a book that you can currently purchase right now. You can pre-order it at the Hachette Book Group website and use the promo code KDRAMA20 to get 20% off right now. And that promo code expires on April 23rd of this year, the day that my book drops. And this book is currently, it's doing well already. This is, news. I won't specify where, but the international rights are already selling. And yeah, so it's making moves. I'm just letting you all know it's making moves. So pre-order this book now. Please pre-order this book now. You can also pre-order it on Amazon. If you want to save on shipping, pre-order it on Amazon. If you want to go and buy it at Barnes & Noble, you could do that too. If you want to order it on Walmart, you can do that as well. Visit my website, kdramaschool.com. You can also visit gracejungcomedy.com. The website, the checkout link for my book is all over those, and you can find more info there. I want to talk about this thing that Korean filmmakers have, male Korean filmmakers. Okay, so like for those of you who don't know, back in 2011, I was doing a lot of this. I did this between 2011 and 2012. I used to be an interpreter, a Korean to English, English to Korean interpreter for like a bunch of male Korean filmmakers. I say male because most of them were male. The only exception was Im Sun-ne. She was like the only exception, like one female filmmaker, and she's a great person, a great woman. But all the other male Korean directors that I met all said the same exact thing. I would ask them, what's your favorite book? And they would all say Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky. All of them said that. I was like, who's your favorite author? They're like, Dostoevsky. It was as if they all just collectively read Dostoevsky and just like agreed that Dostoevsky is the only worthy author there ever is or ever was. And this is not unique to male Korean filmmakers. An American filmmaker by the name of Woody Allen is also obsessed with Crime and Punishment by Dostoevsky, and he made 2 movies based on Crime and Punishment. Yeah, loosely based, but the first is Crimes and Misdemeanors, and then he later made Match Point. And of course, the question is like, what are you so, what's weighing on your conscience, Woody Allen, that you need to keep making the same movie over and over again? Is very, very interesting. Now, if you've seen Crimes and Misdemeanors, and if you've seen Match Point, if you've read Crime and Punishment, you would get a taste of what this notion of crime and punishment is in this kind of story world. So in the case with this show, this series, A Killer Paradox, which is based on a 2018 webtoon entitled, the Korean title is 살인의 남간. No, I'm sorry. The 2018 webtoon is entitled 살인자 난감, and it's written by 꼬마비 and illustrated by 노마비. So these are pseudonyms, but 꼬마비 is the writer and the creator behind this story, and it's a very, very compelling storyline. So you have this college kid named Yi-tang, and that is, of course, played by our beloved actor Choi Woo-shik. Choi Woo-shik is the son in the Bong Joon-ho Oscar-winning film Parasite. And Choi Woo-shik is playing this college kid named Yi-tang, who works part-time at a convenience store. He gets into a strange tussle with a man who beats him. And then Yi-tang ends up killing the man with a hammer in self-defense. And turns out later, this man is a serial killer. And Yi-tang gets away with it. He gets away with the murder. Nobody suspects him because it was raining that night. Also, there was like another man who was also murdered, like, a few feet away from him. So they just assumed that these men killed each other. And then Yi-tang ends up getting blackmailed by a woman in the neighborhood who witnessed this. And she's trying to blackmail him out of $2,000 every single month. So Yi-tang ends up killing her too. Turns out these people that he killed, the man that he killed with a hammer and the woman that he killed who is a blackmailer, turns out both of these people are serial killers. Yeah. It's just an accident that Yi-tang ends up finding out that these people are serial killers. It's like, how did he know? He didn't know. He was just like wielding weapons around these people and they ended up dying at his hands, but turns out they had it coming. And then Yi-tang just ends up like killing people. Yeah, like he doesn't end up going like seeking murder the way Dexter does. Like Dexter is like a premeditated psychopathic serial killer who goes around like looking to kill people deliberately. But Yi-tang doesn't do that. At least not in the beginning. He just defends himself while people are picking on him, and then he ends up killing them, and turns out they are murderers or serial rapists. And these are just coincidences. And so the show, A Killer Paradox, it has elements of Dexter, the Showtime series, but it's crossed with the film Parasite. Like tonally, like the humor, the dark humor of it, the thriller aspect of it, the color schemes. Yeah, the color tones and the color schemes are also very likened to Parasite. A lot of green, a lot of blue. And so yeah, you have like Yi-tang acting like Dexter, but turns out the vengeance is like it's an accident. Yeah. So what these murderers end up getting like to them is like just, Yi-tang ends up being a catalyst to bringing that energy back to them, because whatever energy you put out, it comes back right back at you. So there's like this divine aspect, in the works behind Yi-tang's movements. And so the series, like I said, is based on this 2018 webtoon, and it stars some of my favorite performers. So we have Choi Woo-shik, like I mentioned, but we also have suk-ku, who plays the cop. He plays the police officer who is on the tail of Yi-tang. And I feel like suk-ku isn't really expanding his range right now. Like it's kind of like seeing him in DP and in My Liberation Notes, and like you fuse that and then you have this cop who is on this show. But it's okay. I can't get enough of it. I love it. I love suk-ku to death. So he can keep doing the same thing over and over. I'll keep coming over to watch. Like I still dig it. And Choi Woo-shik is playing a very different role compared to his last K-drama series, which was My Beloved Summer, which was a very lighthearted rom-com. And he was playing the male lead in that, which is like a rare thing for him. He didn't really play that kind of role before. So Woo-shik is currently expanding his horizons in a lot of ways. And on this show, it reminded me a lot of it reminded me of his character in Parasite quite a bit. Yeah, except not as confident and cocky like he was in Parasite. Yeah. A Killer Paradox I think it's a very unique show. It's highly stylistic. The director is chang-hee, who is a relatively new filmmaker. He directed a film called The Vanished back in 2018, which stars Kim Hye, very big name. And then he directed a thriller K-drama series for OCN called Hell is Other People. It can also be like Strangers from Hell, but Hell is Other People is the more um, it's the more accurate title, I would say. And interestingly enough, Hell is Other People is a very famous quote given by Jean-Paul Sartre. And Sartre is also a fetishized author by a lot of dudes. Yeah. Like, I studied literature in college, and like, anytime, I was talking to some college dude, they'd be like, I love Dostoevsky. I love Jean-Paul Sartre. I love Camus. I love Nikola Tesla. Like, they all had the same thing, the same few heroes. And Sartre is one of them, just like Dostoevsky. So, like, I feel like this filmmaker, Lee Chang-hee, he's good. He's good, but, he's like taking what we already know and he's turning it into something that is like his own flavor. And I dig that. I do admire that. So Lee Chang-hee, I got my eyes on you, bro. This show is like, for me, flavor wise, it's like in the range of Squid Game. Squid Game is like a similar kind of situation. You have a filmmaker, highly stylistic filmmaker, although his style is like not that much of an auteur's imprint. Yeah, like Squid Game creator doesn't quite have that. He's like very eclectic. His filmography is very different, very varied and diverse. Although Squid Game is very stylized. And A Killer Paradox has that stylization as well. A lot of rain, a lot of blood, fast, sleek action movements, very sexy transitions from scene to scene. And yeah, it's like, oh, he's trying to do something. Like, he's really showcasing his filmmaking abilities and he's playing around. He's fucking around and discovering things and he's having fun. Like, I could feel the fun behind the creator and his juices flowing there. So to me, A Killer Paradox is like on the scale of Squid Game. And yet, for whatever reason, A Killer Paradox is not on anybody's radar, it seems. It's not like one of the top 10 on Netflix right now, which is surprising. Because I already binge watched this show. This show dropped on Friday and I finished it in like 3 days. So what does that tell you? I don't really binge watch shows that often. But this, I was like, I'm hooked. Like, the first night I watched 4 episodes. The next I watched like another 3 and then I finished it this evening. So for me, it's like, yeah, what's going on, Netflix? Or what's going on, audiences? Huh? Like, why are you not watching this show? This is like a really good show. It's very compelling in its address. It's weird and zany in how the coincidences align. And this is what I mean by the divine workings behind the characters and their flow. The show got me thinking about energy and karma in a broader sense, right? Like, if everything is just about movement of energy, right? Which is what we have in physics, is what we have in metaphysics, is what we have in spirituality, the universal law, divine law, okay? Everything is energy. So if the law says everything is energy, that means anything you put in, it comes back out. And that's how karma works. Karma is a loop, right? We have the loop of samsara. So they say in this show, like towards the end, they talk about law in the frame of justice. Okay, so you commit a crime, there will be justice. There will be a comeuppance at some point. That is law. So they say. However, this show is talking about more than just judicial law. It's talking about law of energy. But the weird thing is, Yitang seems like he's outside of this law somehow, for some reason. Like there's some kind of supernatural divination at work behind Yitang's movements, and it's like what's going on with this loop, you know? It's as if Yitang, like I said, he's just a catalyst for these karmic loops to occur, rather than him actually being the one that will come to terms with this karmic loop at some point. I mean, I assume that he will meet his demise at some point. That's what the show promises. But so far, it's like he's been getting away. Time and time again, he's been getting away. So, like, what's going on? I don't know. I feel like this show could have a second season. I think it is well positioned for a second season. I just don't know if it'll actually happen because I don't know what Netflix's numbers are like. We haven't seen it in the top 10 so far, so I don't know. But maybe that might change. That might change later. Who knows? There are definitely some aspects of this show that make it appear as if killing is like not a choice, you know? Like these guys get pushed to the edge. They get pushed to the edge and then they end up taking somebody's life. And it's like, oh my God, like, I don't know. I can't believe I did this. But, it's like still, you're a human being, you have autonomy in your body and you can choose not to react like a murderous person, right? So there's no such thing as must kill. There's always, I could or I couldn't. Everything is a choice. So I feel like this show sort of blurs that a little bit, but in an interesting way. So check this show out if you haven't yet. Excellent performances. Really, really great performances. Amazing production design. Great direction. Yeah, this director, really good work. Music is good. So yeah, like I have no complaints about this show. And I my only complaint is like, why is this not a top 10 on Netflix right now? I'm just curious about that. And if you have not visited my website, please go to kdramaschool.com, visit that. And you can also become a Patreon member. If you're a Patreon member, I will talk about movies and other shows outside of the K-drama realm. So I could talk about like Hollywood movies. I could talk about like The Crown or, some other series that I could talk about Dexter, whatever else. So just check it out. If you're not a Patreon supporter, please be one. And if you are currently a Patreon supporter, please send me your mailing address so that I can send you a copy of my book.